Okay, good morning everyone. Dabay namona, good morning through the blogger. Good to see you all once again. We are in week 8 and this will be our second session on cybersecurity. Unfortunately, I'm yet to confirm with the Department of Information and Communication whether or not they'll give a presentation. So we're waiting for that. Once they confirm, then I'll let you people know and I'll schedule an online session for them. But for now, we'll just continue on with our presentation for this presentations for this week. So we'll start off with Sylvia Ellison. Please, Sylvia, can you start our presentation?
Morning, Olgata. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, so group was question for this week is what does Watson report about the BOE or BOE declaration stance on cybersecurity? Our answer is this. The BOE declaration stresses that telecommunications are essential for sharing information and highlights the need for cybersecurity measures to protect Pacific infrastructure and people. However, increased access to phones and internet connectivity creates opportunities and security risks, such as cyber attacks and transnational crimes. Therefore, it's important to balance these risks with the potential benefits of technology. According to Watson, telecommunications can be used for telehealth and remote learning, but can also be used for or misused for criminal activities. Now, law enforcement must respond to such activities. Positive use can lead to personal or community responses and positive policy changes. The launch of the new undersea internet cables in the Pacific region requires significant improvements in cyber maturity to accommodate the expected increase in internet access. A computer emergency response team, or CERT, was established in 2011 for the Pacific region, but it stopped operations in 2014 due to a lack of funding. In 2018, the Australian government introduced the Pacific Cybersecurity Operational Network. This program enables various Pacific nations and Australia and New Zealand to exchange cybersecurity threat information, tools, techniques, and ideas. This initiative helps maintain a secure and safe cyber environment in the Pacific region. But even with an increased focus on transnational collaboration, there have been no meetings of the relevant Pacific ministers since 2015. Cybersecurity is seen as a national issue rather than something that requires regional coordination. Some believe that there might be some competition between Pacific nations who want to advance their technology expertise and capability to seize opportunities. This is what Watson observes. Mobile phones are new in many Pacific areas where landline phones are scarce, and the internet is now more available. Telecommunications enable communication, which has intrinsic value beyond achieving other goals. One of the telecom industry's biggest weakness is weak cybersecurity. Governments must balance security and freedom of expression, and collaboration is key to improving telecom networks and markets. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sylvia Ellison and your group. We will move on to the next presenter representing a group, and that is Sylvia again, but this time Sylvia Garout. But for the author of the reading for this week, I believe many of you will know her, Amanda Watson, Dr. Amanda Watson. She used to be a lecturer here at Divine University for a CA department, and she has written widely about our media and communication industry. She did a joint research with Mr. Piki Airi from the Center for Learning and Teaching and Moses Sakai from NRI. And they have a few publications on media and communication and PNG. So she's written widely about media and communication, and she's an established scholar in this particular field. All right, Sylvia, go out. After Sylvia, we'll listen to Messi. The Sylvia is having issues with the microphone. Let's go to Messi and then we'll come back to Sylvia later. Let her work on a technical issue. Messi, please go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. So, once again, good morning, Mr. Yagira and fellow CA and PG Force. So this morning I will be presenting on behalf of Group 1 based on the question, how does Watson argue that increased access to telephones and internet connectivity can lead to security risk, including cyber attacks and transnational crimes? So telecommunication involves the companies that provide the services and the government that regulate the rules, and it also involves the consumers that uses the main devices such as mobile phones, telephones, internet, and etc. that are powered by infrastructures through undersea, underground, and overhead internet cables. Now, according to Watson and others, 2017, the dramatic growth in the uptake of mobile technology since around 2005, fueled by competition, market liberalization, network expansion, introduction of prepaid mobile services, and the sale of more affordable mobile devices. However, according to Watson 2021, increased access to telephones and internet connectivity can lead to security risk, including cyber attacks and transnational crimes. And this telecommunication access enables communications that are criminal or deemed too bad, such as harassment, bullying, and child abuse. Some of these examples include sending upsetting or threatening messages, spreading rumors, creating fake profiles, and posting embarrassing content online or on the internet. And cyber attacks such as malware, phishing, spoofing, identity-based attacks, and others are also security threats or risk of access to phones and internet connectivity. Now, most of these are happening on social media or online platforms such as Facebook. We all are using Facebook, so you know that, and Instagram and other social media platforms, as well as emails and internet websites through telecommunication or use of mobile phones and internet connectivity. So thus, criminal use of telecommunication requires responses from law enforcement. Now, in conclusion, telecommunication involves both the companies and the consumers that uses the devices and regulates the rules for the consumers. Thus, having access to telecommunications and internet connectivity is risky, and users are to be able to understand the risk of telecommunication or the use of mobile phones and internet connectivity. Therefore, Watson argued that increased access to telephones and internet connectivity provides opportunity, but also creates security risk, including cyber attacks and transnational crime. Thank you, and that's the end of our presentation.
Thank you, Messi and Group 1. Yeah, I will agree with what Watson is saying. All of you have access to K-proxy, and the most dangerous sites to visit when you are using proxies is the chat rooms. So when you use proxies and you go into the chat rooms, you'll meet a lot of different people with different motives, surfing the net and using the chat rooms to chat. So that's how you get access to hackers, and hackers will give you links to help you to hack into Gmail accounts, or Microsoft email accounts, and all that. So, just a warning: if you're using Kproxy or other proxy sites, and when you enter a chat room, they have different chat rooms. You have to be careful who you chat with and the type of information or type of communication or discussion that is going on. So I'm speaking from experience. I met an hacker in when I was in China, we used proxy sites to access Facebook. So while using Facebook, I went into the proxy site chat room, and then that's how I met an hacker. And then he or she, I don't know who that person was, he gave me links to hack into Hotmail accounts and Gmail accounts. And they can also recruit you to join the dark web secret site on child pornography or something like that. So it's a dangerous place. Just make sure you think about the actions that you take when you're online using internet. Okay, sorry, Sylvia is ready, so we'll go back to Sylvia, and then after Sylvia, we'll go to Natasha. Sylvia will be using Corina's computer.
Good morning, Mister. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Once again, good morning, Mr. Yagira and class. Group five question reads: according to Watson, how is cybersecurity in the Pacific interconnected with geostrategic competition and geopolitical tensions? So before we answer the question, let us define geostrategic competition and geopolitical tensions. Geostrategic competition and geopolitical tensions refer to where various countries compete between themselves, determining where they stand economically, educationally, and military. Geopolitics means a broad systematic framework in international relations. It involves different phenomena such as political instability, pressures, and military conflicts between countries, terrorist threats, or geographical events that can affect the regional and global community. That is according to Kaya 2024. According to Flores 2022, some examples of geopolitical tensions are intra-country relationship, regional interest, security agreement between Solomon Islands and China, changing management strategies or leadership, and shifting polarization and independent international relations. Cybersecurity in the Pacific has links to geostrategic competition and geopolitical tensions because Pacific countries import technology from third-party providers. To illustrate this point, Watson provides participating in the rollout of upcoming advanced mobile network, mainly due to allegations, Watson provides participating in the rollout of the upcoming advanced mobile networks, mainly due to allegations that the company's products may purposely contain security holes that China's government could use for spying purposes. By contrast, the PNG State Enterprise Minister Sasindran Mutuvel has been quoted and as saying that Huawei is currently the preferred communicating equipment supplier for the country. That is according to the National 2020. Which is why a driver of Australia's decision to fund the Coral Sea cable was because it did not want China's Huawei providing an undersea internet cable to PNG and Solomon Islands. However, even though Australia provide a domestic cable with Solomon Islands, Huawei has built a domestic cable within PNG, funded with a loan from the China's Export and Import Bank. Furthermore, China's Belt and Road Initiative is the Digital Silk Road, which was launched in 2015. According to an article on Council on Foreign Relations assessing China's Digital Silk Road Initiative, the DSR assistance goes towards improving recipients' telecommunication network, artificial intelligence capabilities, cloud computing, e-commerce, and mobile payment systems, surveillance technology, smart cities, and other high-tech areas. There is speculation that almost 1/3 of the countries participating in BRI are cooperating on DSR projects. Most of these go unreported, and there is no exact number as to how many countries are under the DSR. This development has concerned democratic nations, which is why, according to SORA 2023, the recent joint Australia-US initiative to enhance digital connectivity in the Pacific has been offered as an alternative to the DSR as a strategic manual in the region. By ensuring the region's digital platforms are built and partly operated by companies that originate in democratic nations, Australia and United States are not just laying down cables, but also laying the groundwork for a democratic, open, and accountable digital space. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. Now let's listen to Natasha.
Good morning, Mr. Yagera and fellow students. Can you all hear me? Today, I will present the response from Group 3 regarding the question we were given to work on. The question reads, why does Watson has said that cybersecurity is viewed as a significant vulnerability that could jeopardize the telecommunications sector in PNG? Before we delve into the solution to the question, let's define cybersecurity. According to Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary, cybersecurity is the process of preventing illegal access, theft, and damage to computer systems, networks, and other equipment. Its main goal is to guarantee the availability, confidentiality, and integrity of sensitive data kept on those devices and systems. Now to answer the question. The answer to the question is found in an article titled Telecommunication Security in the Pacific Region, which was written by Dr. Hamenda Watson and published in the 82nd issue of the Development Bulletin Journal. The relevant pages for the answer 121 to 135. So, according to Watson 2021, natural disasters and cybersecurity are two key vulnerabilities that could jeopardize the communication sector's long-term viability and sustainability. Our main focus is on the vulnerability of cybersecurity, especially in the context of PNG. Watson has stated that cybersecurity is a critical concern due to the increased reliance on network information systems. Furthermore, PNG faces challenges relating to internet access, which has been both expensive and unreliable. Although new undersea internet cables are expected to enhance bandwidth availability and reduce prices, vulnerabilities still persist. Lastly, mobile networks are transitioning to focus on mobile internet capability, which will enable broader access to the internet via mobile devices. The impact of cybersecurity vulnerabilities on both national security and the economy cannot be overstated. The potential consequences are severe, ranging from economic damage due to disrupted essential services to compromised communication networks that may jeopardize national security. Cyber threats also have a social impact, affecting individuals, business, and institutions alike. Furthermore, PNG, being the most populous country in the region, faces unique challenges due to the significant number of people without access to mobile phones. So in summary, the interplay between cybersecurity, economic impact, and national security emphasizes the need for robust defense in PNG's telecommunications sector. Failure to address vulnerabilities could jeopardize critical communication.
All right, thank you, Natasha. Very interesting contribution to the discussion so far. Now let's listen to Antonia. Antonia will also add to the discussion and talk about the government, the PNG government.
Can you all hear me? Okay. Good morning, everyone, once again. I'll be representing Group 2, and we'll be answering the question, what was the rationale behind the government of PNG introducing the cybercrime law in 2016, Watson? Over the past decade, and particularly in the last few years, the influence of the internet as a means to spread information and challenge government-imposed media controls has steadily expanded in the Pacific. Politicians and government agencies frequently find themselves the target of criticism on social media, according to Sing 2015. This growing influence is directly linked to the increasing number of users in the Pacific Islands. In early 2023, Papua New Guinea had over 3.29 million people using the internet, which is about 32.1% of the total population. There were also 872,000 social media users, making up to 8.5% of the total population. Pacific Island governments and donor partners recognize the advantages of having access to telecommunication services. However, they express concerns about the negative impacts of social media platforms. To address these issues, such as cybercrime, they have implemented laws to regulate social media and have been considering limiting access to mitigate potential abuse and harm to individuals, communities, and society. According to Watson, in 2016, the PNG government introduced the Cybercrime Code Act, which enables the prosecution of individuals who publish defamatory content or incite violence on social media. This act consists of 7 parts and 2 schedules. The parts range from ensuring the code's compliance with constitutional laws to outlining indictable offenses, rules, and regulations. Schedule 1 of the code provides a description of ICT service providers, while Schedule 2 of the code summarizes the indictable offenses. In summary, the Pacific region has experienced a significant increase in the influence of the internet, which has posed challenges to the government. As of early 2023, Papua New Guinea had over 3.29 million internet users, representing 32.1% of the population. While the government and donor partners acknowledge the advantage of telecommunication access, they also have expressed concerns to regulate social media and combat cybercrime. The cybercrime law of the PNG government, which was established in 2016, aims to prosecute individuals who share defamatory or violent content on social media. So this legislation was introduced as a response to these concerns. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Antonia. Our next presenter is Sisi Mari, representing group number 7. Sisi Mari, please go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Can you all hear me? Okay. So, Group 7, our question reads, what does Watson refer to with the term immature cybersecurity structure? So before answering this question, let me define the key term, which is immature cybersecurity structure. So what is an immature cybersecurity structure? According to Info Security magazine, an immature cybersecurity structure refers to an organization's cybersecurity system that is not fully developed or sophisticated enough to effectively mitigate threats and prevent breaches. So it is important for companies to develop a cyber maturity strategy to enable revenue growth and product innovation as part of a holistic digital business strategy. Now, on to answering the question, what does Watson refer to with the term emergent cybersecurity structure? So from our understanding and findings, according to the PDF titled Perspective on Pacific Security under the subtitle Telecommunication Security in the Pacific Region, a research by Amanda H.A. Watson, pages 132 to 134, Watson referred to the term immature security structure as one of the many challenges that are encountered by telecommunication companies that are operating in the Pacific region. She explained that cybersecurity is an important area of concern due to the recent availability of technology in the Pacific region, and also a rise on the accessibility of internet due to the launching of undersea internet cables will require dramatic and rapid improvements to currently low levels of cyber maturity. This is according to Australian Strategy Policy Institute 2017. So however, telecommunication companies operating in the region are challenged by having an immature cybersecurity structure because their cybersecurity systems are not fully developed or sophisticated enough to effectively diminish threats and prevent breaches such as cyber attacks. Thank you, and that's our answer.
Thank you, Sisi Maria and Group 7. So going back to what we discussed on geopolitics and cybersecurity, with China building our national submarine cable network, now if you look at what's happening, or if you read the news, you'll see that the US is building another fiber optic cable network from the US to Fiji, and from Fiji to Vanuatu, Solomon Islands, PNG, and then Australia. So that's in competition with what China is doing in the region as well. So it's interesting how these big, powerful countries are competing in terms of internet connectivity and the cyberspace. Let's listen to our final presenter for today, Ms. Victoria One.
Okay, thank you. I believe I'm clear. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Okay. So our question is, what was the reason behind the Australian funded report assertion that the data center constructed for the government of PNG by Huawei does not meet the expected cybersecurity standards as mentioned by Watson? So to begin with, Watson explained the review of the cyber maturity of the 25 countries in Asia Pacific. And this review found out that three Pacific nations included, were lowly ranked. And guess what? Papua New Guinea was ranked the 23rd placing. In addition, according to Hovegen 2020, as cited by Watson, numerous Pacific nations have reviewed or are reviewing legislation related to sharing cybersecurity and universal access. This simply means that these countries are still evolving technology-wise to meet the global standard. Because if you can see, we just now created our cybersecurity policy, and then in late 2016, we started putting together the Cybercrime Act. So we are just now putting these policies in place and the acts in place. So Watson stated, and I quote, cybersecurity has linked to geostrategic competition and geopolitical tension between Pacific countries and technology from third party. And I think all the other presenters have mentioned that. So to answer the question, we will just study these two reasons, which is the geostrategic and geopolitical tension. So this statement suggests that cybersecurity link to the cybersecurity, which is the practice of protecting computer system and network and data from digital attacks, is not solely a technical issue, but also a broader implication for international relations and geopolitics. To further explain this, firstly, cybersecurity and geostrategic competition. In today's interconnected world, cybersecurity is not just about safeguarding individual system or organization, it's also about protecting international interests and security. Political powers and various actors engage in cyber activities not only for cyberspace protection or to interfere with cyber threats, but also to gain strategic advantages over other countries. This including stealing intellectual property, disrupting critical infrastructure, or influencing public opinion. Just like how Watson explains that Australia and other countries banned Chinese company Huawei to participate in the advanced technology market because there was allegations that the Chinese networking system were using their and using this type of companies to spy on other governments. Secondly, the Pacific countries and their technological import. PNG, like other Pacific countries, import technology from third party. This highlights the country's dependence on external source on importing technology for our economic development, communication network, and defense system. So these factors increase the chances of our system being manipulated because we do not do them ourselves, we import them from other countries. And lastly, links to geopolitical tension. The dependence on technology imports can create vulnerabilities in terms of cybersecurity. If this technology, which we are importing from other countries, are compromised, they can be used to manipulate our systems. This can pose a significant risk to the cybersecurity and the stability of countries like PNG who are importing. Furthermore, geopolitical tension exists between countries providing the technology and those importing. If they issue that can intensify the tension, meaning that if suppose you make a cross one to China and we are importing from China, they can use the system against us. So in summary, the reason why Australia-funded report's assertion stated that data center constructed by Huawei is not up to the standard, it's because of the reasons that I have explained. Because there were allegations that the systems that we were importing might have security loopholes that can be used against the government again. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria and Group 6. So she's the final presenter for today, and that brings us to the end of our presentations. And it's interesting what's happening in the region as we speak. We're moving from this economic warfare to now technological warfare. And if you look at Australia, Australia does not have huge mobile phone or communication companies. And compare Australia with China, you see China has Huawei, China has Xiaomi, and Xiaomi and Huawei are the two big phone companies or communication companies, but then you have TCL and ZTE, two other companies, and some of us are using TCL or ZTE phones. So then you ask the question, what standard are they talking about? Is it Western standard or Chinese standard? Which standard was used to build the cybersecurity center in Port Moresby? So we go back to the readings that we read about the Belt and Road Initiative, and there were questions about engineering and which engineering standard is being used. The Chinese using their own Chinese engineering standards, or are they using the Western, or there's a global standard for engineering works on bridges and roads and all that. So there's a clash of ideologies, clash of standards, competition between East and West, or China and the countries in the Western Alliance. So it's interesting. It's now influencing other lesser powers like Papua New Guinea and how we position ourselves in order to either gain from the competition that is happening, or we get influenced easily by those big powers that are now controlling the world or the region we are in. So cybersecurity is really one interesting aspect of security and PNG. If you look at the latest report written by Moses Sakai and Amanda Watson, they talked about the prices of internet is slowly dropping. So that means the number of users will increase. So once many of you have access to the internet, then apart from e-commerce and making money from TikTok and YouTube and all that, you'll also go into nefarious activities, hacking and stealing people's information and cyberbullying and all that. So we have to be careful with what's happening in the development in terms of the cyberspace and internet. So it's good that the government came up with a cyber security policy, and also we need to monitor and build our capacity in monitoring the cyberspace. At the moment, our PNG defense and police, they don't have the capacity. They don't have a cyber unit or cyber division to monitor what's happening on our social media platforms and the type of abuse that people are getting on social media channels or platforms, and the type of information that is shared on WhatsApp in the various WhatsApp groups and all that. So it's interesting. Maybe that's one reason why they want to put in place the communication policy, to make sure that they regulate what's happening and monitor the type of information that is shared between people using the various social media platforms and other communication tools. All right, so that's all for this session on cyber security and digital changes in PNG. Like I said, when the department confirms the availability and what time is suitable for them to say something on cybersecurity, then I'll let you people know and I'll schedule them for an online presentation. But at the moment, they're yet to respond, so we give them time to respond. So we will now move on next week to our next topic on climate change, your favorite topic, climate change. Yeah? Are you all planting trees and looking after our environment, or contributing to the pollution? I hope you are doing something constructive to the environment to look after us. Otherwise, all of us will die from global warming and rising seas. All right, so that's all. If you have any questions or comments for our presenters, please share in the forum for this week. Once again, the forum will close on Sunday. I see many of you have made your entries already, so I'll go through and then add up or count them and add to my tally. And before you go, the last talk survey is I made this talk survey already on the announcement forum, but I'll say it again. I'll start marking for the policy reviews today. Sorry for the delay. Once I mark, I'll enter your marks into your respective grade books, and then I'll email you your comments, individual comments. So you can have a look at the comments and then work on the second review. But sorry for the delay marking. I'll start today, and hopefully by next week, Monday, Tuesday, all of you should have your comments and your marks for the first policy review, sorry, security policy review. All right, that's all. You all have a good day. Take care, have a good weekend as well, and we'll catch up next week. We'll have our session 1 on Monday next week. Is Monday a public holiday or no? We have PNG, the land of public holidays. We seem to have a lot of public holidays every now and then. Again, I think we have the highest number of public holidays in the world. There was someone counted and said we have the highest compared to all other countries. So yeah, the land of many holidays. So you all have a good weekend and take care of yourself and see you people on Monday. Bye for now.